We're going to join them right now live from the graveside of Louis Riel, where MC right now, Will Goodon, is speaking, and he's getting ready to introduce Anita Campbell. And she is, of course, the Infinity Women's Secretariat. She's also the Minister of Families. Oh, we're going to join her live right now. Thank you.
I was going to say that Minister Goodon doesn't worry about the rain. I wonder why. I'm going to keep it short. I know rain, I often say that rain, and I don't know who said about who was it, Keanu Reeves? Look.
He's got great hair.
Yeah, he's got great hair. I want to acknowledge, of course, Linda. I'm so happy that you're under an umbrella. For the prayer, for the great words about a great man. And I wanted to also acknowledge all our special guests, everyone that's here, our citizens that are here, of course, President Chartrand, my colleagues, everyone that's here. I always say that what's going to happen when it rains? Nothing. You're not going to melt. It'll be fine. I always say I'm made out of brown sugar. Anyway, I'll make this quick because I know President Chartrand also is going to come up. I just wanted to really remind everyone, and I always try to make a point of coming here. I got my COVID shot yesterday, and I'm not feeling 100%, but I needed to be here because I'm always trying to remind and I know I don't have to, but I always feel like I always have to remind that there were women in our great leader's life. And the women played an important role in helping, supporting, and being there for this great man. We heard words about honor, respect, remembering, and those are the same words for me not a week ago on the 8th that we use those same words for our veterans. So thank you very much, all the veterans, for what you've done also. And Louis Riel, I was thinking about it this morning in terms of what he's gone through with his support system that was there. And today, we still have so many members that are coming home. There are so many new Métis coming home. And I say new Métis because they're struggling with their identity. They're struggling with their culture. They want to know, they want to learn about their culture, about being Métis. And so we're finding that a lot of our members, our citizens, our family, our kin are coming home. And I think that's an important point to remember, that your Red River Métis government is welcoming all of you. And we have to also remember Louis Riel didn't just fight for himself, his family, his community, or even just the Red River Métis people. He fought for everyone, hence why it became a province. So everyone that was in this province, everyone that was attached, that's who he was fighting for their rights. So it was a matter of us to remember that Louis Riel is a great man, was a great man, will always be a great man, and something for us to remember, that he came from a community that was a matriarchal community. And we're still like that today. There are strong women in every family. There are strong leaders in every community. And I just wanted to make sure that you remember that Louis Riel, for everything that he's done, that we're still doing that today. And I really want to acknowledge our president. And I was wondering when Terry was going to make the comment about all the work that President Chartrand has always done, and he did make that relation there in terms of all the work that even our president has done throughout the years, the decades, not just years, but the decades. So I just wanted to really thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I know it's raining. I love fall, so I'm okay with this. For being here and bringing these comments and bringing these remarks. It's a great day. No matter if it's raining, it's a great day. We don't have that white stuff. So it's a great day. I really want to thank you. Remember, I use these 3 words when I did the remarks for November 8th. I said it: respect, remember, and it was respect, resilience, and remember. I think it's going to stop raining, President Chartrand said when he comes up and speak. Those are the 3 words that you should also remember when you think about Louis Riel and the Red River Métis Nation. So on behalf of Infinity Women's Secretariat, thank you for allowing me to come here and bring some remarks. Thank you. My paper's all wet. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Yes, that's true. I don't worry about my hair when the rain comes out. Before I introduce our last speaker, I just wanted to give a shout out to a friend of mine, someone who's spent his entire life working on behalf of all Métis, the historic nation, the Red River Métis, and that's past national president Clem Chartrand. I want everyone to give him a very nice recognition. We are where we are today because of the work that he did for so many years, and I want to say thank you. Our next speaker is President David Chartrand, and there's been lots of people who have introduced him in the past and used lots of very, what was that word that Mark used in the past? Loquacious words, but the footsteps that Riel laid down when he stood on the chain, when he stood up, when he spoke, when he gave his life. We are definitely seeing a continuation of that in our leader, who has taken us to places that nobody would have dreamed of, and we want to owe him a great debt as we owe a great debt to President Riel. Please help me welcome President David Chartrand.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. Thank you for his kind words. And again, Linda, thank you for a prayer. It's great to see dignitaries out here and hovering up under the umbrellas. It'll stop raining shortly. But it's great to be here. It truly is. And it's good to see the women all dressed up so beautiful. And some of the guys that are hiding their beautiful vests now underneath his jacket. But it's good to see the Métisism being displayed here. I think it's such a powerful statement to make to this great leader that lays behind me, and what he accomplished and what he did. But it's also important to recognize what my mom has taught me. You always seek the good, no matter what. You always find it if you try. To find the bad, you can find it so quickly. I'm sure Armin can attest that wherever carts traveled the prairies, rain, snow, or shine, didn't matter. They still made their way through in their journey. And I think it's important to recognize that being here, what's the good about it right now? Well, first, they honor a great man, but there's no snow. It's not -40. It's not -30. So you look for the positive. And no mosquitoes, as Robert was saying. One of the things I do recognize is I don't see no leaders of the parties, which I'm okay with. It's their loss. It's a good time here. But we have leaders that are here on behalf of their parties anyway. And the statements on behalf right now we're live streaming. We're live on Métis Hour. We have about 50,000 listeners on Métis Hour. And so a lot of people are listening to this message. And I think it's important to recognize what this is all about. And I thank everybody for the great memories and statements and recognition of Riel and truly what he accomplished. But we never forget how long it took us to get here, and that we're not finished this journey. We could name bridges, we could name buildings, we could name holidays, all these things, but there's unfinished business yet in this country we got to accomplish. One of them is the actual land we're sitting on. This was Métis land. We owned it, we bled for it, we fought for it, and we definitely protected it. That is unfinished business that yet has to be accomplished. The Prime Minister of Canada promised he'd settle it this term. Well, this term is coming quick, and I'm hoping that he's going to keep his word, because I would be somewhat surprised if he decided to change his mind and break his promise. And I'm sure it'd be felt by so many as a hurtful environment to our people that we'd be forgotten. And I know Danny's time is short as a minister. I don't know when he's going to be transferred out or maybe thrown out or whatever is coming with it. Maybe he'll have a few times to say a few words more in Parliament about settling this land claim that actually was part of the deal. We protected the French language. It's good to see Millie here. She had a good meeting with her leader, Yvon-François Blanchet. And we definitely talked about Quebec and its affiliation to the Métis in the prairies and our protection of languages, in particular French language. And one of the things that we're still inspiring to also do, unfinished business, is to thank the Quebecers that gathered in great numbers to protest the murder of Riel. And let's not fool ourselves, it was murder. It was a planned execution by this country. And the documents and evidence is there. If this thing was ever adjudicated in a court today, some people would be found guilty of murder. Clearly they executed and murdered a man because they thought they'd silenced the Métis. The prairie toughness of the prairies was us, but they also silenced the West. That did not happen. In fact, the West is strong again today. However, what's important to recognize is what was done on that process. By murdering Riel, they thought the voice and the noise would end in the West. It did. They almost got successful. And let's not forget, we disappeared in history after Batoche for about 50 years. Nobody talks about us. Nobody speaks of us. No education institution talks of us. We just disappear. The goal was to eliminate and assimilate us, that we would disappear in history as a people. Today, as I said, that's why I acknowledge the women, the beautiful women that are here with their sashes, the men proudly wearing their sashes, in any matters that attain respect to our people and pride. As Indigenous people, we knew each other by our beadwork. Each of us would know by nation who we were. And it was important to recognize that. Today, people are trying to steal who we are in the East, trying to come and take who we are. And that's why when I met with the leader of the bloc, was to talk about how do we show our appreciation to Quebec. 6,000 people gathered before the execution of Riel, protesting the murder that was about to take place. And the government still would not listen. After they murdered Riel, 50,000 Quebecers got together to protest the execution and murder of Riel. Our people owe a great deal of respect and appreciation to Quebec. And that's something we will keep, because we are loyalists as Métis. We never forget our debt or our relationship or our kinship or our friendships. That's who we are. So my goal right now is to build a statue of Riel in the park, Montreal Park, where the protesters gathered. I've met and spoke, in fact, with the Premier of Quebec. I spoke with François Blanchette, and he's definitely willing to support us. And hopefully there'll be others that'll support us. And we'll make it very clear, we're not asking a dime from anybody. We will pay for it ourselves. Our Métis government has been able to economically gain strength and power, and this is just the beginning. Riel must be so proud of us today, because as pointed out by Terry, you see our MMF in the skyline now, and probably you can see our building here if you look. Your building at your home, by the way, and many more around there. But there'll be many more to come. This is the transition of the change of the Métis people. But history has also taught us we were friends at one time. One arrow was buried right here. And I'm very honored that their people came and got him and took him back to his own reserve, his own land. But they were friends, the First Nation and the Métis. And let's not forget, the first treaty promised in this country was 1870 to the Métis. And who, if you'll go down to my office, you look at the Bill of Rights, one of the things that Riel pushed is that treaties be settled for the First Nations of Western Canada. And Treaty 1 comes right after that in 1871, and on and on and on. It was Riel who also fought for that, because he was befriended and friends with his relatives, the First Nation. History has taught us that we were friends at one time. Future is telling us a different story. Right now, there's a potential court case coming up where they're claiming we have no right to this land. I know you read the recognition of Treaty 1 and all the rest of them, but the Dakota, the Sioux now, are saying this is their exclusive land, that we have no right to it. That battle will take place in the courts, and I assure you we'll defend it vigorously, and we will fight to ensure that that is never taken from us, because it was us. And I said we bled for it, and we paid the price for it, and we still pay the price today for it. So it's very clear. Times sometimes change, future sometimes tells a different story. But the past can never change. It can never. So that past, that history will always be there to guide us and tell us what our future looks like. And we will continue to listen for our elders of how we move forward. But we need to know this. United we stand, divided we fall. That's somebody else's quote, not mine. But the meaning of it is so powerful, very powerful. That's what's kept our nation so strong. We've been unified. We've let no one come between us. No other political party has been able to divide us. They've tried, trust me, they've tried. And no party has been able to divide the strength of the Red River Métis. And if we maintain that for the next generation, it'll be a different place for them, a better place for them, a new place for them, where they will not worry whether they'll become doctors. So we have a doctor here, a good friend of mine, Métis doctor, whether they become lawyers, judges, business people, on and on and on and on. You know, Will just talked about housing by Hillard, Councillor Hillard, about business here. And Riel's a businessman. Trust me, you can bring business here anytime you want in front of Riel. He's a businessman. He always thought about doing things in the context of his people. But when you look at giving the Métis that relationship and partnership, look what we can do with magic. You know, we took $16 million. $16 million. And I have not seen nobody in this country achieve this. $16 million. Today, 1,169 families bought their homes and homed their houses in this province. Isn't that remarkable? $16 million. The country couldn't do it. Canada had a program, they had to cancel it. Others have been trying to mimic our program in the West and been trying to talk about how did you do it. Well, we did it because this is who we are. Riel has taught us to be business and leaders and always thinking about the future. And this is what this man drives us every time to think about. That's why I've come here for decades and decades and decades. Whether it's cold outside, whether very rare does it rain, but now it rains. So, but it's clear. And Louis, you're not listening to me. I told you to stop raining when I speak here. Actually, for most of you, you probably know me by now. I do pray every night. I pray to Riel every night. Every night. I talk to my mom, and I pray to her. I always ask Lou Riel to give me guidance. Give me the orator skills to speak. He uses the other language there. What do you call it again? You said loquacious. You know, all that garbage. But anyways, I always ask him to give me the words that I need to say to the people so they can understand what we're doing and trying to do and how we need to go together. Every night I pray to him. I ask him. I just pray before I come and speak. I said, guide me with the words I need to say to the people, and let them understand how important this day is. It's only once a year we ask to gather here November 16th, once a year. So that's why I get a little peeved a little bit when I don't see others show up that should be here honoring the founder of Manitoba. But what I bought here, and I'll close off with this. So rain is lighting up, you're listening, huh? So anyways, what I bought here was one thing for sure that was important to us. 32 years we fought in the court for our land claim, and we won. I was so honored, along with my cabinet, to come here and bring it in front of him and lay it down in front of his grave and say, I hope you're proud of us. I hope you're proud that we never gave up on the land that was promised to our people, that was stolen from us, and here we are. Here's the land victory we bought from the highest court of this land. We also then bought the self-government agreement because we had self-government. Understand that always, before Canada became Canada, we governed ourselves. We had our own rules and laws, or even our own currency. When you stop and think about all these things, how important it was for Riel. And they stole that from him. So I was proud to bring here the self-government agreement I signed with Canada in 2021. You heard Terry, I didn't know he was allowed to speak on this, but now I can speak on it, on the treaty, because it was not supposed to be spoken about, since somebody else brought it up. To give me an opportunity to speak on it. As you know, we've been negotiating a treaty with Canada for some time. It's many, many years. And the treaty was promised to us by John A. Macdonald. In order for him to get the land that he was after, the West, he needed to please Queen Victoria. And in doing so, he promised that he would settle with the half-breeds. That was the message that they gave from Britain. Deal with the uprising we hear in the prairies. And the response he gave, in order to finish off his purchase of 300,000 pounds and also a military to come fight us if necessary for peace, they said, but it wasn't peace, it was actually war. He said, we are treating with the half-breeds. We're saying a treaty with the half-breeds. That treaty was part of Manitobac and part of the now negotiations supposed to happen with our people. Instead, they sent the military to kill us and chase us off our land. So you look at that history, that treaty. That's something we've been working on for decades upon decades upon decades. And I wasn't supposed to say nothing till next week, I think. So next week, there's Danny Vandell. As your MP brought it up, not I. But next week, I hope it's next week, we were about to finish off a deal that finally recognizing the promises made in 1870 and that a treaty will be accomplished between ourselves and the government of Canada. Sets a different pathway, a different future. And I will be honored, I tell you, I will be honored to come here and bring it in front of this great man, this great man, and bring it and lay it in front of him and say, I hope you're proud of us again. Because we're not finished yet, but I hope you're proud of us. We've got another unfinished business, another promise is broken. We've been able to fix that unbroken promise and make it real. So I'm sure he's going to be very, very proud, and I know that he'll, in his own way, give me the message of how proud he is and ensure the glow of his pride about his people, that they're stronger than they've ever been, will continue to shine and rise with him wherever he is in heaven. So I said on reference to, I spoke to Niganan to speak to about his father. His father at one time was the vice president of the Manitoba Federation before he took his status. But he was the vice president. He was a great man, Murray Sinclair, a very smart man, a man I learned many things from by just watching and listening. But one of the things I did say, I'm sure by now, I told him, Murray's probably finding a way to find Riel. And they're probably sitting across each other talking. And I said, what I would pay for to be sitting there listening to this. But maybe I thought about, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe they'll come scoop me up quicker than I should go. So maybe I retract that a little bit. You know, I'll come later on, catch you up. But imagine that if you believe in the afterlife, that's probably happening as we speak right now in the pride and the glow of the shine that lusters over us. So again, thank you very much for coming out. Hey, not raining, what did I tell you, man? So, but again, thank you for coming out and honoring this great man, because it is absolutely true, as you referenced in your remarks. He was not only a leader for the Métis. He was a leader supporting, protecting the First Nations. He also protected the settlers that were here. He wanted to ensure that they had the right to continue to harvest. And another important part, immigration. People don't realize this. That was being debated at that time. And Riel said there's so much rich lands and opportunities here that we can see more people coming to this rich land and we could all live together and support each other. That was a vision he had. Now, south of us, they're out talking about mass deportation of immigrants. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. Some, what we could be proud of as Canadians, let's pray it never happens here. Because if there does happen here, there's going to be just First Nation and Métis here. Well, maybe it's a good thing. We'll never know. No, I'm joking. I hope it never happens here. I pray to God it never happens here, because that is the scariest thing to see people that you grew up with, knowing families and hard-working families coming to make a chance in life here, as you know, that, as I said, Riel had the vision of rich land prosperity. So I hope, and we support and we protect that all people from different worlds and countries that come here, we stand with them, we protect them, we allow no one to try to chase them off Métis land or First Nation land. So again, congratulations for taking on the reign and staying here to honor this great man. Thank you very much again.